All right, real quick before we get into this episode of Let Grant Cook, I just wanted to come on here and say happy Thanksgiving. We are very thankful, myself and everyone here at Fourth and Five, for all the support that we've gotten for this channel. Each subscriber that we've gotten for this channel, it really does mean a lot. It lets us know that we're going to just try our best to keep this thing going. We really do appreciate that support. You can see I'm a big holiday guy, so I wanted to come on here and say happy Thanksgiving. Shane's back there acting a fool. Dax is here and wants to say happy Thanksgiving. And don't act like you bored. Acting like he's bored. Dax, there he is. Y'all have a great one. We really appreciate you. Make sure you stay tuned for the end of this episode because after Grant talks about all the offensive line stuff, he's also going to let you know what he has on his plate this Thanksgiving holiday. Y'all have a great one. And once again, happy Thanksgiving.
All right, welcome in to another episode of Fourth and Five, presented by Ortho Arkansas. And here we are once again with Let Grant Cook. And Grant, man, the tape, like I said, the theme of this week's tape, it's a little bizarre because Arkansas won the ball game 35-14. 34, I can't remember exactly. When was it? Yeah, 35-14. And you would think, oh, yeah, surely this is going to be some good tape. But it was just a very bizarre game, especially in the first half, first quarter. You're just sitting there trying to figure out what is happening. And I did the breakdown earlier this week, and there's a few plays, Grant, and I think we're going to review some of those here today when it comes to what are we trying to do here? Some of it was technique. Some of it was just poor attempts at blocking. And for me, Grant, some of it was scheme. I'm trying to figure out what are they doing up front, because even if you had an All-American, guard in there on this one, I don't know if he gets that block in the first place. And so you have a few plays that you have picked out. But before we start getting into the film, you all know what we got to talk about. The one and only DDK. And I tell you, man, as much as I wasn't going to say anything about your hat. I thought maybe you forgot it. I should have known better.
I got it ready. Don't worry about that.
Did you see their social media posts when they clipped some pieces of us together? And
that
was pretty fun, man. And I
did.
really appreciated the partnership we've had with them all season long. And it's been fun, man. But they love some Grant Cook. I know that, man.
Well, we love them back, man. So, now, we've talked about them week in and week out, and they've really become a true partner with this podcast, with Fourth and Five, and getting to know some of the folks over there. It's been really cool. But I want to talk about one thing and we touched on it very briefly a couple weeks ago, but it's kind of like my time of the year, right? Duck season, hunting season, all those kind of things. We talked about a couple of properties a couple weeks ago, but keep in mind, DDK, forestry, and real estate, right? So they've got plenty of opportunities for the duck hunters, the deer hunters out there. It's that time of year. Everybody's getting out in the woods, getting out in the fields. So keep them in mind if you're looking for a special property to take your kids to or to take your friends to, a group of guys or a group of people trying to get together and find somewhere they can duck hunt or deer hunt. DDK has the solutions for you. And, like I said, we talked about it. I'm trying to get out there and test a few of these out so I can really be a representative of these properties that they have in their portfolio. So give them a shout. Give the group over there a shout. They'll get you hooked up and get you in the right hands.
They got to love it. And much more to come from DDK and Grant. I think I've been talking to them. I think we may have you covered when it comes to checking out these properties. I'll just leave it at that. All right. Let's switch gears. Let's talk about this tape. Let's get right into it. And I've seen a lot of people in our comment section, and you and me, we both know we're not vying to be coaches anywhere.
Yeah.
But they're calling you Coach Cook now too. All right. You've been there before. So let's get into it. Say if you're coaching these guys up, what are some things you're looking at in film this week?
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head there a little bit. And I think that there's some things that are just going to show up on film again that we've talked about week in and week out. Some of the things around technique and finishing blocks and having that kind of nasty mentality of playing this position. And then some of it was scheme. I think maybe they put some guys in bad positions. You got to know your players and know what they can go do. And there were a couple calls in here that, as I watched the film back, live, it's a little bit tough. You can catch it. I watched the offensive line. It's one thing. It's kind of watched so much film and all that It's hard to watch the ball, but there's a few plays in here where I'm like, what is trying to be accomplished? It looks like a jumbled up mess. And as you go watch it back, you see like, I'm not exactly sure what was trying to be accomplished, but it didn't work, right? Maybe it's a scheme. Maybe, it was kind of a fumbled up mess there. But we're going to start with 13 minutes, 28 seconds left in the first. So first drive, opening drive, which, by the way, I do want to touch on. Louisiana Tech blew one of my picks this week. They had like so many opportunities to be the first ones on the board, and they choked, dude. Oh my goodness. I was texting you after we made those picks. I'm like, oh, I'm toast. We return it. I'm like, oh, it's literally 10 seconds into the game. And I'm like, well, my bet's gone.
Yeah, our picks, neither one of us, I think, did well on our picks. None of them. I mean, that game didn't go how I expected at all.
Yeah, Oakland got my little money there. But anyway, all right. So like I said, 13 minutes, 28 seconds left in the first. And so what it looks like they're trying to get accomplished here is like a tight end trap. And I can appreciate maybe what they're trying to do, but you got to, like I said, you got to put your guys in the right position. So I'm going to blame this one on scheme. I'm going to start on the left side. So what the left side of the line is trying to get done here is scoop in.
Hey, wait 1 second. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. You saying blame this one on scheme technically means you're blaming this one on Coach Petrino, but go ahead.
Hey, everybody shares in the blame, man. And hey, if you disagree, I would gladly like to hear your point on this.
I'm curious about this play.
So okay, left side of the offensive line, they're trying to run like a scoop block. Okay, so a scoop block is you think about stepping with your inside foot, kind of taking a curved pattern to get up to these backside linebackers. Okay, but keep in mind, this middle linebacker is almost stacked over a top of a zero nose. And we say zero nose, we mean like right dead head up on the center. Okay. Mm-hmm. That is a really tough place to get to, especially if the ball is trying to hit on the other side, if the ball is trying to hit on the other side of the offensive line. Everything that linebacker is taught is the flow's going this way. I got my eyes on the running back. He's going to the right. I'm going to the right. You're not putting your guard in a really good position to try to get there. Things that have to go right on this play, and that's why I go back to scheme. So we'll run it, and we'll kind of see how it plays out. So we'll start with the left side. Once again, you can see they kind of scoop. They're trying to scoop down. But what does that linebacker do? He goes straight downhill. Zero chance of trying to get to that guy, especially when the nose guard is just occupying that space. And you saw that on the opening play of the game, too. Their linebackers were downhill guys. I mean, they were coming downhill trying to get into the backfield and get TFLs, and they were pretty successful for quite some time in this game in making that happen. Luke, he's not put in a real good position here, right? I mean, that's probably a 320-pound defensive tackle. Luke's probably, I don't know, you know better than me, 240.
About 240, 245, somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, I can see maybe, Luke's a really good run blocker, and I'll give him credit on that. He's not just a pass catching tight end. He gets his nose in there, but that's not a battle you win very many times, even if the guy doesn't know you're coming. But that flow from the linebacker coming straight downhill, you can see that Blackstock kind of runs into the defensive tackle and can't get to the linebacker. They go up and do what you're taught to do, which is keep going downfield and find opposite color and go attack it. But this one was just kind of blown up from the get-go.
Yeah, I talked about this one in the breakdown Monday, and I was thinking I really want Grant to talk about this too, because maybe he sees something I don't see on this one. And so it looks like you're just kind of affirming, like, I don't get it. I mean, as long as I played, I can't recall a play where I was involved in a trap block on the defensive tackle ever. I would really have to think about it. Because I'm trying to think, if we're playing Bama and they're like, hey, DJ, trap block Terrence Cody, I'll be like, who? Me?
Hey, man, my first play in college football ever was a a draw against Terrence Cody. So I had to fake pass set, engage him, and try to drive him out of the way. Didn't pan out well. Y'all can go watch highlights on 2009 Arkansas at Alabama. It was great.
But you had to pass set and then try to drive them off the ball?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. By yourself?
All right. We're going to skip ahead. Go ahead. What?
Yeah. By yourself?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Man to man, baby. Man to man. Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Y'all can watch it. Dennis Johnson disappeared in that man's stomach.
Oh, my God. Oh, good stuff. I love it.
all right.
Yeah.
All right. Second quarter, 8 minutes and 39 seconds left. And so this one is, I want to talk about, we've touched on it several times throughout the last few weeks, finishing blocks, staying on blocks, giving your running backs a chance. We do have some talented running backs, and if we can give them an opportunity and keep them clean in the second level, I think we give ourselves a really good chance to do great things in the run game. But when we get off kilter, or we fire off the ball too hard, or we're not all on the same page, and we allow color to pop into the hole, then it starts to affect the way the running backs run the ball. And so right here is, this 3 down front is tricky at times because that nose guard generally is not playing straight up after the ball snap. He's going to pick a way.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to keep an eye on Blackstock and Addison Nichols here. So what they're trying to do is double team this nose guard up to number 42. So when we double team, it's not like, hey, the center knows I'm definitely going to 42, or Blackstock knows I'm definitely going to 42, who's the inside linebacker here. It's more about a feel for where's this defensive lineman going, who's taking the block over, who's going up, who's staying back. But those decisions have to be made like in a split second. And you just have to be on the same page. I do think that with Blackstock playing more in this game and Kudus out, then he hasn't played as much at guard like he was at the beginning of the season. So there is maybe a little bit of a lapse there in how they play and knowing like what this guard's going to do or what the center likes to do and all that. But we'll play it out here so you can see they'll come together. And then what happens is Addison leaves prior to Blackstock really taking the block over, and it does affect the play. So we'll run through it. You can see him come off the ball, and they do a really good job of getting his shoulders turned. So they're making a natural hole here for the running back. But Addison leaves, and then watch number 48. He comes back across Blackstock's face, and now he's in the hole, right? Mm-hmm. We're going to go to Marion Harris next, right? I wanted to say that. I wanted to get technical before I just went on this is a whiff. Like, this is just a whiff block, okay? If you color this cover this color up right here, number 20 coming off the edge, this play has a chance.
Yeah.
Like, if Blackstock stays on the front side of that block and Marion doesn't whiff, 10's trapped up behind Braun. You got 2 guys on the linebacker, and if Blackstock stays on 42, this thing may be out of the gate. 15, you make him miss, and we're off to the races. And I think that's Jaquindon in. I don't believe one person can tackle Jaquindon, not in space.
Yeah.
So it's just, once again, it's finishing these blocks, it's getting in the right attack point and knowing where we're supposed to be, where the ball's going to go, and getting your butt in the right place. And so Marion whiffed here. Obviously, that puts pressure on. Jaquindon's getting touched in the backfield, and then he gets through, and Blackstock lets the guy across his face. So what I'd like to see here is maybe Addison Nichols stab that block off. When I say stab, keep that hand on him and really push that outside shoulder and let Blackstock assume that full block and then work up. And then with a Marion, you really want to, on an inside zone like this, you don't want to go way out here on this outside shoulder because all the action is coming up the middle. And so you want to get an outside number, not an outside shoulder. And there is a big difference when we're talking about aiming points from a number to a shoulder. I know most people are going to be like, your number's right here, your shoulder's out here. That's not that big. It makes a very big difference. And you see it here. He takes a really wide, aggressive set on this guy to come out and get his outside shoulder. whoop, underneath, and now you can't recover. And especially
Yeah.
when the ball is designed to go inside.
You brought up something about Blackstock. Stepping in, Kudus was out, trying to reserve his red shirt. Team players are team players, but it has to do something to you mentally, knowing you're only in the game because they want to save this guy's red shirt. Do you think what position would that put your mindset in before heading into a game?
Yeah. I mean, I think for us, and we were a pretty tight group, and I can understand it. Maybe it's gonna piss you off, right?
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, I'm finally getting some clock because this guy's out. But at the end of the day, if that's the best thing, I mean, and it's a different world now, right? I mean, there was no NIL, there was no transfer portal, all that kind of stuff. If you and I transferred, we're sitting out a full year. If you already burnt your red shirt, that's just a year of eligibility that you don't get back. And so, I think it would have affected me mentally maybe a little bit, but in the same breath, if I'm getting opportunity to play, it's just an opportunity for me to prove why I just need to stay in next game, even if even if that game is not a red shirt burner for Kudus.
Yeah, I get it. Kudus will be back next week because he has his last game, and we got good old Missouri, good old Drinkwitz, and I'm gonna throw up a clip real quick about what Drinkwitz was talking about with our quarterback. Hold on, take a listen to this character, if you will.
I may mispronounce his name, but Talon Green.
Grant, this dude right here, damn well he knows how to pronounce Talon Green's name, and
Talon.
I'll say this though. I feel like he does this on purpose because I can't remember where I heard this, but he alluded something to Coach Pittman of like, let's get this rivalry going. And I think he does this on purpose, just so you and I can talk about it. Now, that clip of him yelling at the who were they playing? Texas A&M?
No, Mississippi State.
Mississippi State fans. I mean, I was like, bro, chill. What is your problem? And so, but he is very easy to hate. You know what I mean? He makes it very easy, but I think he does it on purpose. But you think this would be a game beyond trying to win 7 wins for the year of just wanting to shut this guy up, right? Got to as a player. Yeah,
I mean, and it started way back when the SEC changed the schedules and Missouri was in, and we normally play LSU this week and have for 30 years or whatever it was, and we swap around, and now we're playing Missouri. And I can't remember that redheaded linebacker's name.
Beisel or Beasel or
when he, we don't even know who you're talking about. You're talking about that state down south or that school down south or whatever. And you're like,
he was a joke,
dude.
They beat us though. That's what sucked. They beat us. Oh, I couldn't stand it. He looked like that wrestler with red hair. Can't remember his name. I think he played in that Ninja Turtle movie or something like that. But I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, and I think Drinkwitz is in the same boat. I mean, he's trying to push this thing. And hey, listen, we should take some pride in this game because I'm pretty sure we're like 2-10 against these guys, or 2-8 over the last 10, or something crazy like that. So if we are actually better than them, then let's just go shut them up, right? Let's just go beat Missouri this weekend and shut them up, and then start turning the tables. But the whole Talon, I mean, he's just trying to put bulletin board material out there for people, and I hope it comes back to bite them. I think we've got an opportunity to go beat them, and they're not a bad team. They've got some talent, and but it is. I mean, it's kind of a joke.
Yeah. All right, you got another one for us?
I do. I got one more clip. And we'll talk about this one very quickly. So once again, it's an inside zone look, maybe a little bit of a read, but we've got Luke Haas coming across the formation. So I don't know exactly who we're reading. I think it's just a straight give. But I do want to look at Addison Nichols. So we've talked about pad level. We talked about technique. We talked about all these things over the weeks. And to show kind of what I'm talking about here is he's had a head-up nose all game. Number 9, he looked like a big boy. short, stocky, one of those guys you hate as an offensive lineman because he's got built-in leverage. When he stands up, he hits you in the chest, right? I mean, it's like he's short, but he's heavy. And they're hard to move. Speaking of which, we had a guy on our team who coaches at Missouri now named Alfred Davis, which also in practice knew every call that we were supposed to make. So he played the play. If he sees this, he's going to laugh because he knows it's true. But
I'll make sure I send this to him. Yeah.
But Big Al, man, Big Al, he was impossible to move, man. I mean, and so this is number 9. He looked like one of those guys. So I can give Addison maybe a little bit of grace here. He really fires off the ball to try to get underneath this guy. And the one thing that I don't like, I don't think we've got the end zone of this one. No, we don't. So the one thing I don't like, and you're going to have to look really, really, really close when you're watching this as I'm talking through it, is what Addison's trying to do here is get this guy's outside shoulder to widen him out a little bit. Okay, so it is a double team, once again, with he and Blackstock, similar to the last play that we went over. But if you look at Addison's right foot, and you can see it just a little bit, the thing I don't love is he gains no ground. He actually takes his foot backwards. And we don't need to give ground up. I can understand like maybe picking it up and putting it back down, but you always want to gain maybe a little bit of ground whenever you're run blocking, because what happens is that it gets him overextended. And so when this guy moves to the right, which once again, that guy didn't stay up, head up very many times, but once he moves to the right, now Addison's over leveraged, and his we used to call it well, I'll say your chest is over your toes. There's something else that rhymes with that was the actual saying, but his chest is over his toes. Now his head's down, and he can't get up. He can't get up to the linebacker. And number 21, luckily, I mean, here we've got Carmona going up. Luke does a really good job staying inside out on his back block, and it gives who is that run? DeBinion. It gives DeBinion an opportunity to cut this thing back. I really, really like this action between Talon, not Talon, Talon, and DeBinion in the backfield. DeBinion does a really good job of staying front side and letting that backside hole open up, because all that defense starts to flow. They start flowing toward that front side, and then bang, he sticks his foot in the ground and hits it backside. But you've got to do a really good job on your blocks on the backside to open that thing up too. And like I said, Luke does a really good job staying inside out. Carmona works up, and it's a really positive run here. So I'd really love to see Addison gain some ground with that first step and keep half of that man as Blackstock's coming over to assume the block. Otherwise, you see what happens here is he dives forward, and now he can't get his head up, and the linebacker runs around him. If DeBinion stays front side, that's a tackle for loss. Luckily, we had the backside open up for him there. So this week, once again, super weird. 35-14. I'm never going to complain about a 35-14 win, but there's things that we can clean up. And then week 11, is it week 11? Week 11, you want to see super clean game against a Louisiana Tech team who's really good, but has struggled down the stretch, and their defense has not quite been there for them. So there's still some things out there, and we're starting to enter the time where this matters. And I really am happy that we're bowl eligible. That gives a lot of these guys opportunities to get in and get reps in practice. Players don't always love bowl practice because that just like another spring practice. But it does give them some time to develop guys that maybe hadn't gotten on the field this year. So that's exciting, and we're starting to enter the time, DJ, and I don't want to maybe give too much away, but who's coming back, who's not coming back, because that bowl practice time frame really starts to heat up with the young guys, right? Who's going to be the next guy in, but you got to know who's wanting to stay, who's leaving, who you got coming in as freshmen and through the recruiting cycle. So I think there may be some things to come with 4th and 5 postseason that are going to be
the wait in between the last game and the bowl game, it'll be active. I already know it's coming. So, yeah, we'll be talking about plenty of things. And we'll try to also do our part of no, I ain't going to do it. I was going to say get a little inside source, maybe give you a hint of what's to come. But no, we're not going to do that here. That's not how we roll. We'll wait till things happen, and then we'll talk about it. All right?
No doubt.
Unless it's really good. No, I wouldn't. Grant, appreciate you and your time. Now, for people who don't know, we pre-record all this, and so this will air Thanksgiving. So just put yourself 2 days from now, because this is Tuesday night. Talk through what's on your plate right now while people are watching this. Talk me through it. Paint the picture for me. Come on. What we got?
On my plate right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So just think about this, folks, okay? As you sit down, you can turn on Grant and DJ over Thanksgiving dinner, get a nice breakdown of the Louisiana Tech game while you're eating. On my plate, I mean, it's our turkey ham. I mean, we're going to start with the real good stuff. Mashed potatoes, green bean casserole. Got the roll coming in too. Cranberry sauce. Yes. Oh, the rolls, man. Listen, I'll make a sandwich out of anything. So that
roll, make a sandwich out of the roll. Ooh.
Oh, that roll! Hey, that roll is about to have dressing. Some turkey, a little ham, mashed potatoes. I'm turning it. It's a Thanksgiving plate sandwich, and then I mean pecan pie, pumpkin pie. Hey, hold on, man. I gotta.
Yeah.
I gotta quit, man. My stomach's. I'm ready. I'm ready.
I said I look forward to just sitting down wherever I am after I'm done eating, uncomfortably comfortable, just big dogging it.
Stretch pants, dog. Stretchy pants.
What was I gonna say? You brought up. You said turkey. You said dressing. Green bean casserole. We talked about this the other day. Why is it only on Thanksgiving? That thing's fire. Don't you feel like you should have that more days out of the year?
I'm gonna have to make it tonight. I don't know.
Oh man!
No, the onion straws on the top and like the cream of mushroom and all. Yeah. I mean, it's so good. It's because maybe it's so good that you can only have it once a year. It's one of those indulgent
more special. Makes it more special. Kind of like when that pumpkin pie concrete came out of Andy's. Bring back some memories right there. You remember that? Yeah.
Man.
Grant, I appreciate you and your time. I'm thankful for you and your time that you spent here breaking these offensive lineman plays down and let Grant cook. And we are also very thankful for our sponsor, DDK, for making all this happen as well. And we are also thankful for you viewers, and we wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Hope it's great. And in the comment section, if you will, let us know what's on your plate. All right. Let's have some fun ones with that one. We want to know what's on the plate. All right. So, Grant, appreciate you, man. You have a good one, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, and go Hogs.
Go Hogs.